What was your reaction when you saw that Tomlin was out?
Well,
I think you were doing your podcast.
I
when
was.
It hit.
Exactly right. I mean, a little bit like Harbaugh, where it was surprising, like, whoa, it's coming, but not shocking. I think the most surprising thing to me with all of it was kind of what you just alluded to, in the fact of, hey, coaches for Pittsburgh usually stay a long time. Pittsburgh lets them stay forever. And then, okay, wait, Mike Tomlin's gone. Okay, so wait, what's behind the curtain there? How did this happen? And then you start to realize, like, Mike Tomlin, I think this is the most surprising thing to me, went in there. It didn't sound like it was like a conversation where we think we should both go separate ways. It was like Mike Tomlin going, I'm done. I'm done. I've had enough. I need to step away. It's over for right now, especially it's over here, right? And I think that, to me, was, once I heard the news, I was like, oh, wow, really? Man, it happened. And then I was, during the podcast, we started to dig a little bit. My co-host, Connor Rogers, started to read some quotes and read the quote from Mike Tomlin and the Rooney family and everything there. And you started to realize, wow, okay, so this wasn't a mutual decision. The Steelers were still, sounds like, all in on Mike Tomlin, but Tomlin had just had enough, and he's ready for a new phase of his life coaching, or it needs to take a year off, whatever. But I think that was kind of my first, thoughts and shock as far as that is concerned.
Yeah, and it wasn't a firing, and he wasn't going to be fired.
Right.
He decided to walk away.
Yeah.
And look, even though Mike Tomlin has always had a great presence and never seems to be bothered by anything. Anytime there would be a circumstance where he would reasonably be perturbed, he'll rattle off a catchphrase about, and he's got a whole list of them. He doesn't. We seek no comfort, or he makes no excuses, and nothing bothers him. But when they were getting their asses kicked by the Buffalo Bills on November 30, and they start chanting, "Fire Tomlin," I'm sorry, but Mike Tomlin is a human being. Mike Tomlin heard something he had never heard in his 19 years with the team. He had heard "Fire Canada" a couple of years ago, loudly.
Right.
Week 2, Monday night, I was there. Week 2, when the Steelers fans go into a season with an agenda, they aren't going to let it go. And whether it was Mike Tomlin saying, hey, you know what, if these people are going to do this, if they aren't going to appreciate me, then I don't want to coach this team. Or if he was aware of the fact that there's 30% of the fan base that anytime they lose 2 or 3 games in a row, they start privately jostling to fire Tomlin. Or if it was just, you know what, I don't want to deal with this next year, because if we don't come out of the gates hot, they're going to be chanting "Fire Tomlin" from the first game of the season.
Yeah, right.
And they're going to start chanting it at the Penguins games, like they started chanting "Fire Canada" at the Penguins games. So it takes on a life of its own. And I think at some level, and there surely were many reasons for the decision, at some level, he's smart enough to know this could go badly next year, because when it seemed like it was done this year, it got very ugly, and they commenced the process of digging themselves out by winning in Baltimore. And then they won a couple more games, and they got lucky with the Tyler Loop thing, or last week we would have been talking about Mike Tomlin, and this week we may have been talking about John Harbaugh.
Right.
But I just think that he decided he had enough.
Yep.
He wasn't going to be fired. The Steelers didn't want to be searching for a coach. I wonder how much work they've done in advance to try to
if they even knew,
prepare for the possibility.
Right.
But I agree with you. This was all Tomlin, without a shove, without a nudge. This is him saying, I'm going to walk away now, because by next year there's a chance they'll make me run.
Yeah, I don't disagree with a lot of what you're saying. He's the ultimate block the noise out kind of guy, though, to your point. Right? That's where he's special. And you see the quote here and everything there. And, of course, he's grateful of his time in Pittsburgh. It was a special era. It was. It's a shame to see it come to an end. Right? But to your point about him blocking out noise and all that, I mean, you know us. I mean, we say it how it is. We're not afraid. Yeah, I have a relationship. I've known Mike Tomlin. I know, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, Raheem Morris. At times where I'm not afraid to, criticize them if I think something's wrong. I remember a few years back, I went to Pittsburgh training camp, and I know the year before, I think I had been critical about some decision they had made at the end of the year, and I was a little self-conscious in that he was letting me come to training camp and hang around and really be around and be with the coaches and all of that. But I was self-conscious there. I was like, man, I hope Mike T's not mad at me, because I can't remember exactly what it was, but I was kind of criticized him late in the year last year. So when I said it and he says hi and blah, 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 I kind of go, hey, I thought maybe you were mad at me. I'm sorry. I kind of, criticized something at the end. And he, before I could even say, Simms, I don't give a, SH dot, I don't care. I don't listen to all that noise, right? I'm going to do it for now, right? Out of respect for him, I'm going to do it for right now. But yes, that's the way he is. And yes, it's sad to see it come to an end here, because he's got a great personality. He's a great motivator. You have to be great to have that job for 18 years, right? I do believe he's a little bit of a victim of his own success in ways where I go, yeah, there was some teams here that weren't all that good, but we got to 500 or we got in the playoffs. And then, of course, that doesn't help you with your draft position, and you're never in a spot to make a big-time move to change your football team around. And I think that's also where not only being exhausted by the day-to-day, I got to walk into the building and I see the trophies and I got to defend the land of Pittsburgh and all of that, which is exhausting. But I also got to think that the future looked a little exhausting in Pittsburgh too. Right? With all that, and then them being in around 500 and just getting in the playoffs and never having a high draft pick, it's never been an ability to kind of rebuild the team. It's always been like, oh, we're kind of close. Let's put a Band-Aid here. Ooh, we're kind of close. Let's just put another Band-Aid here. And you look at them and where they are in Pittsburgh right now, and you go, they are getting close to what I would go, a soft rebuild. The team's getting old. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The quarterback situation's dicey. We got one receiver, right? The running back position is nothing special. There's a lot to be done there. The O-line's got some young guys, and that's a positive thing. But as you know, the defense, there's a lot of age over there too, and not a whole lot of talent to go along with it. And I think with all of that, I just look at it, and I think he was like, man, it's been a long journey. It's been a long run. This team has got to get flipped over a little bit, and maybe he just didn't want to be a part of that, and he's going to take a step away and sit back and kind of evaluate the landscape of the NFL. But I don't get the feeling he's getting ready to jump back in here and find a head coaching job. That's the one thing I'll say for sure.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.